Welcome to the Marketecture Podcast. This is Ari Paparo. We're broadcasting from Cannes. All week, we're going to be publishing short interviews with interesting people here at Cannes. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll be back next week with a Cannes wrap-up and our normal format. All right, welcome to the Marketecture Podcast. I'm here with Philip Inghelbrecht, who's the CEO and co-founder of Tatari. Philip, thank you so much for being with me.
My pleasure, Ari.
So Tatari is an interesting company. We haven't heard from you in a while. What's the latest? What is Tatari up to?
We have kept very busy. And of course, it pains me to hear that you haven't heard from us for a while. Our clients surely have. So, I mean, look, I think I was fortunate enough to be one of the early people on the podcast years ago. I didn't check what I said back then, but you know, without knowing the exact baselines, we're probably 5-10x bigger in every respect. Customers, revenue, market, and so it's been a fantastic ride.
Yeah, and so is the podcast. So we're all growing like crazy. But for those who may not be that familiar, what's the elevator pitch on what Tatari is? It's CTV buying.
More than CTV. So we say Tatari is technology for TV advertising. Hundreds of brands and agencies, they will use our product to plan, buy, and measure their TV campaigns, soup to nuts. And when we say TV campaigns, it's more than CTV. It's also kind of the good old-fashioned linear TV, satellite TV, online video, true conversion TV. The brands that use Tatari, they could be very small, could be a very large company. Chime, who's going public, is one of Tatari's clients. We place companies straight in the Super Bowl. I think we placed already 3-4 spots for next year. And then around the technology, we kind of build also what we refer to as infrastructure, a privacy and identity solution under the brand Vault. We also have a sizable supply side technology component to the company under the brand The Viewpoint. So it's truly TV advertising vertically integrated.
So with the big clients, you're working through agencies, and with the small clients, you're direct. Is that a good assumption?
It can go both ways, and we're truly agnostic to that. I think maybe there's no kind of like rule to that, but what we do see is often brands first come to us when they're new to TV advertising. They've done a lot of digital advertising. If anything, they're really good at it. They can't scale anymore. They want a product that looks and feels like the digital less than TV, and we give that to them, right? And so agencies, they come to us because they hear about Tatari or their clients ask about it. And they may say like, well, can we license your measurement technology? How can we tap into your data for media execution? And so it's more in that capacity that we then start to work with those. It's very similar to the trade desk for all intents and purposes.
Okay, but focused on TV.
TV only, yes.
So when we spoke about smaller advertisers, it brought to mind Mountain, which just went public. I'm personally on the board of Vibe, which is a competitor. So what do you think of this whole movement to bring performance to TV, small advertisers to TV? Just, it seems like there's a big shakeup happening.
Yeah. I mean, look, the notion of performance TV, it's something that we started with 8 years ago. Actually, I would say back then, people kind of like didn't think that highly of us. Maybe they felt it was weird because the good old way to measure campaigns was more the Nielsen audience measurement. And so we're obviously very big believers in it. Our measurement product is also incredibly developed. It's what we lead with. Having said all of that, we understand Mountain and Vibe and for sure, there's been a democratization of the world of TV advertising. When I was a TV advertiser, it was a big budget brand privilege, right? You needed millions to get a seat at a table and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a creative. That price point, the buy-in has come down a lot. I'm not so sure if it's really true SMB, right? I don't think it's hundreds of thousands of brands in the same way that you will have brands go on AdWords or Facebook or Meta. I think these brands are somewhat larger than maybe a Vibe or a Mountain will suggest.
When you say small, you can mean like literally a corner pizza shop who might be interested in spending a couple $100 a month, or you can mean, a Shopify store that does millions of dollars. And I brought this up previously that the average account on Mountain is spending over $200,000 a year on TV, which doesn't strike me as very small.
I would agree with you on that. we always like to think that we refer to it as a growth client. They will easily do, $500,000 to $1 million per year in advertising. So a good chunk of that will be TV. But again, it's not that small pizza corner shop that some will refer to. TV is still, as much as we have evolved, there's still, it's still not like AdWords. Even with an AI creative, the approvals do take some time. Sometimes these small companies don't even have the bandwidth to self-serve and manage their own campaigns. So yeah.
You don't want the pizza shop logging in.
I like pizza, but not for TV advertising.
You mentioned measurement. I would love to hear a little bit more about what you're thinking in measurement. We had the CMO video amp on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she made a pretty compelling.
She was great.
She was great. She made a pretty compelling case about alternative currencies. So do you think in terms of Nielsen versus alternative currencies, or are you in measurement in a totally different way?
Yeah, so if you look at Nielsen and to a large degree Video Amp, those are more audience measurement companies, right? The success of a campaign is defined by the extent to which a certain audience has been reached. And by the way, it's a good way to measure TV. It will never go away. We focus more on the world of outcome measurement, right? The success of a TV campaign is defined by the extent to which, in most cases, a response was generated, right? And it can manifest itself as a sale or a ROAS KPI, whichever it is. We do look at companies like that. As Tatari license us a lot of data, I always say we have an insatiable appetite for data. I think there's loads of companies in the outcome measurement space that don't license set-top box data, ACR data, and I always wonder, well, how the heck do they do it? We look at it, but it's not one or the other. When brands are small, they will typically lead with outcome measurement. And that gives them peace, confidence, and confidence to scale. As they get bigger, measurement like Nielsen and Video Amp also have a very important place.
Well, it's also by different strategies, right?
Yep.
Different parts of the funnel, different strategies.
Correct. Yeah. And small companies will focus on down funnel. And again, that makes sense. You're small. Every dollar has to count. Larger companies, we see it around $5 million in annual TV spend. They will start to focus more on metrics like reach, frequency, optimal frequency, and alike. And it's the fluency and the ability to shift from one to the other that matters a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're not that bullish on DSPs in this world of connected TV, or at least you wrote an article sort of critical of the future of DSPs. Give me your bear case on what's wrong with DSPs.
I think, look, there are the traditional pushback around DSPs, and let me say programmatic media execution, right? Around pricing, the ad tech tax, the risk of fraud, brand safety. And I think those are I won't say understood, but at least they're well known. My skepticism around DSP technology kind of is more strategic in nature. I think the whole programmatic value chain makes a lot of sense when the supply in a market is highly distributed. In digital, there are literally millions of websites with inventory. So we need SSP tech to organize it. There are hundreds of thousands of small advertisers who can buy it. So we need DSP tech meeting the SSPs and the exchanges to get it all going. In the world of CTV, that's not the case. There's probably about 10 large publishers, things that you and I will watch now, a Hulu, a Peacock. Those publishers will command 95% of all the impressions. So if we can agree to that, then why go or why apply a digital practice or technology to the world of CTV? What we do at Tatari instead, we're going to do these direct integrations with a few select publishers and execute the media that way. And the publishers, they like it as well, right? They don't get their impressions anonymously picked off by a DSP. They see who's on the other end. They understand the budgets. And so it deals with some of the issues that with a DSP like fraud, right? A publisher will never sell fraud on its own impressions. And so for that reason, we just don't see a future for DSPs in the world of CTV. Actually, I would think that it's the traders kind of came to it, right? Because they moved from digital into CTV and they kind of forced these practices upon us, but it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I kind of made this point in a newsletter a couple of months ago that the two things that brought about programmatic in the display world were fragmentation of supply and cookies. And neither of those things exist in the CTV world. You don't have nearly the targetability and there's less fragmentation.
Sometimes you don't want to target too much. Take a few steps back. As a medium, the true power of TV is driving reach and awareness. There's actually no medium that can drive reach as TV can. And the more we target, which is, by the way, almost synonymous to the deploying DSP tech, the more we target, the less we reach. And so as, CTV penetration is now surpassed cable penetration, maybe we don't want to target that much on CTV, and we want to harvest the true power of TV with reach. So again,
once again, it might be different parts of the funnel, different types of advertisers who want different things. So AI is the big story at Cannes. Everyone's talking about agentic AI. So what are you talking about with AI?
And beyond the notion of ChatGPT, for sure. I mean, look, AI definitely, I can't say that it came to us as a surprise, but definitely it has come and been adopted much faster than I even ever expected. And this is not my first company. And so we kind of use it in three ways. One of them is around process, workflow automation. A good example is creatives. When a creative is put together, putting it to the approval processes, making sure it's correct format and spec, and all of that can be automated. And there's a lot of AI data we can do, and so that's great. Then there's a lot of AI around media planning. We announced at Tatari what we call media planning engine. Essentially, 8 years and $1 billion of TV data with outcomes put to work to build TV plans faster than a human being ever can, and by the way, more accurate, sometimes with the most remarkable suggestions, but then also driving results. And the last one is probably a little harder to explain for us in terms of AI and machine learning, but it's in media execution, right? When we have the direct integrations with the ad servers at the publisher side, we use AI to ensure that the best impression is always allocated to the most relevant brand, right? Actually, one of us at the Marketecture conference, Scope 3, talked a lot about that. It's something we've been practicing at Tatari for a while.
That's interesting. So are all those examples you just gave in production in Tatari?
Yes,
they're live? Tell me about the one that is the most interesting one, I think, is creative, because everyone's talking about creative and it's pretty obvious use case. What's the reaction from customers on creative AI? Are there some customers who just show you the hand and say, no, we don't want anything to do with that? Are there others who really like it?
Yeah. So with respect to AI and creative, so like the way we use AI and creative is kind of more for checking what's in the video. Will it get approved by the networks as something flagged? I think the component that you're talking about that we don't participate in yet, but our brands do, is using AI to build creatives from scratch. Today, one of our clients, Kashi, which is a kind of a platform for trading bets, released the creative. I mean, it's phenomenal. They used VO3 top to bottom, and it's not only how shall I say, a great creative, but it was done in a matter of hours, as far as I understand it. That's the creative we're going to see in the NBA final.
Really? There's going to be a fully AI generated commercial in the NBA final?
And it's a good one, Ari. It's a really good one.
All right.
I'll send it to you.
Well, that's exciting. We're breaking some news here. Okay. So, lastly, tell me about your Cannes plan. What's Tatari up to?
Every year, a little bit bigger, bolder, and better, right? I came to this personally the first time, I think 4 years ago, not knowing what I was stepping into. And the only thing I kind of observed was some maybe business development, meeting partners, the very companies from whom we license data and the like. And then as of last year, or the year before that, increasingly we find ourselves meeting and working with agencies as our agency business grows. And this year, and it's actually something I'm personally proud of, quite a significant chunk of our meetings are with brands, big brands, large brands. And for a small company like Tatari, that is the holy grail in many ways. And so very much looking forward to it. We've got 6 people on the ground, and I think we've got more than 100 meetings, so we'll be busy.
That's great. Do a lot of brands come to Cannes? Like
yes.
they get the budget to fly out here?
Yeah. The big ones, we're talking C-level CMO, right? we're bringing some of our own CMOs to Cannes, for sure.
Get on the private jet, head to the Riviera. I get it.
I did not say that, but surely it is aspiring.
All right. This was a great conversation. A great way to kick off Cannes Week. Philip Inghelbrecht, the CEO, co-founder of Tatari. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for subscribing to Marketecture. New interviews are added every week at marketecture.tv and your favorite podcasting app.